guys, I figured I'd change it up a little bit today. I went over to the shelf, I grabbed all the steelbook releases that I have and all the 4K UHD releases that I have. Now for this video I'm doing something a little different. None of this stuff is boutique label to my knowledge. Yeah, none of this stuff is boutique label. If I do come across a title that I do have from a boutique label, I will say something about it. I just want to change it up a little bit. I've collected a lot of stuff over the years. I decided to put the steelbooks and the 4K UHD stuff together because I do have steelbooks that are like, the Best Buy exclusive 4K steelbooks, and I am a sucker for that stuff. I know there's a lot of collectors out there who do not give a shit about steelbooks, who fucking hate them to death. And I remember, anyway, we're not going to get into that, but I know there's a lot of collectors who does not give a shit about that packaging whatsoever. But I do, though. I like, especially some of my favorite films. And sometimes when you get them for a really good price or something, I like to snatch them up. As I said before, guys, I don't live anywhere. I live here out in the middle of fucking nowhere in Georgia. There's no stores around me that sell like boutique label stuff. I have a Best Buy about 45 minutes from my house. That's the closest place I can really go to shop at for shit. And everybody kind of knows Best Buy is very limited whenever they have anything that's boutique label. I have seen a few Screen Factory titles at Best Buy before. I recently saw the Arrow Video RoboCop steelbook at Best Buy and stuff like that. But it's it's very few far in between. So when I go in there, I will come across some of their sales that they do have. Sometimes their steelbooks are the price on it's knocked down a little bit, probably because it's sat there for a while, or either that or they're doing like an exclusive 4K UHD steelbook exclusively through Best Buy, and I am a sucker for some of those. I will say that those fucking things are expensive. I know, like, I think like whenever I bought the Halloween steelbook, I think that shit was like $35. I bought the movie Us. That was another one. It was like $35. So those things can be a little pricey. I remember the It steelbooks as well. Those were like $35 a piece too. So they're a little expensive, but I do know that once they're gone, they're gone. I mean, I remember like the Marvel movies and stuff like that coming out, and everybody would go into Best Buy and they would just fucking raid Best Buy and just buy all that shit up, and then for too long you'd see it on eBay if you thought $35 was a pretty steep price for a release like that. After it was gone from Best Buy and you couldn't get off the site or find it in your store, the price will be fucking crazy on the secondary market. But anyway, guys, like I said, I just went over to the shelf. I want to do something a little different today. It's taking me a while to get a little bit motivated today. It's like 4:30 and I'm still sitting around in my house in my pajamas. But like I said, a little hard to get motivated today. I got the weekend coming up. Unfortunately, this weekend coming up for me is not going to be a week of awesomeness and relaxing and all that good stuff. It's going to be hell. It's going to be a pretty bad weekend. But it's okay though. We're going to get to the next weekend though, and going to have a lot of fun, guys. I hope you guys are off this weekend. I know it's coming up. It's Friday evening, so hopefully everybody's kind of winding down from their long week. Everybody's ready to kick back and relax, get some R&R. So hopefully you guys are living it up. And if you are this weekend, like I said before, drink a beer in my honor. Just think about me. Drink a beer for me. And let's have some fun, guys. We're going to dig right into this. I would say I'd like to show all the 4Ks first, but everything's kind of mixed up a little bit, and I'll probably end up fucking that up a little bit. So, alright, guys. So what I did is I went to my shelf. I think I've got everything. Yesterday I shot my Arrow Video Limited Edition. I did 2 parts of that. My first video showed 10 titles. Second video I did 14. I didn't prepare it really good before I shot that. I literally could have done 12 titles for each video. I don't know why the hell I divided it up the way I did, but just went with it. And not to mention my good buddy Cody Shenanigans 1 hit me up and was like, yeah, I like how you have Crimson Peak back there holding up your Arrow Video collection there at the end. And I kind of come back here and I looked and I was like, I know I got Crimson Peak, the limited edition set. And I started thinking, I was like, wait a minute, fuck, I forgot to put that one in my videos. So So hopefully, I was keeping in mind as I was going through my shelves, like getting all my 4K UHD stuff out and my steelbooks. I was like, let's hopefully I don't fucking forget something. So I really hope I didn't. I mean, there's a chance that I could have done it just because I have a bunch of shit. Guys, I do have a few boxes over there that's full of DVDs. There could be a few steelbooks in there. The reason why I have those boxed up is because I've most likely I've took those DVDs and I've upgraded them to Blu-ray, and I just keep holding on to my DVDs and I have them boxed up just because they're sentimental and I just can't really get rid of those, even though I definitely should. It's just hard for me to let go of stuff like that, especially with a lot of those. It's like me and my wife when we first got together, like we bought a bunch of movies together and stuff like that. Like whether we was on vacation and we bought some stuff while we were on vacation. That's it's shit like that. It's a little sentimental, so it's hard for me to let go of it. But yeah, guys, we'll dig into this right quick. I have mostly all the steelbooks are 4K and 4K UHD. I think with the exception of, I think I only have one DVD steelbook sitting right there. That's not Blu-ray. And I might as well just show that one first. But I believe, yeah, just one DVD steelbook. And I bought this one back in the day. This was a great purchase. I went to, definitely don't want to bore you guys with it. But maybe you kind of noticed the same thing back in the day when you started collecting physical media. So Blu-ray was not even out yet. It was just DVDs. I would constantly go to Best Buy to buy films. And I would, especially for anybody who remembers, DVDs were always like $20 a pop, $25 a pop. And sometimes you go to these places like Best Buy or Circuit City, if you guys remember that place. They've been long gone now at this point. But I remember going to those places, and especially like Best Buy, like they would have like some pretty cool releases, but they would be kind of expensive. And this is one of them, unfortunately, I never got to get from Best Buy, but I just so happened to be walking around a Walmart, like after I'd seen it in a Best Buy, and it was like a little, it was a little while later. And actually was walking around a Walmart and actually saw it sitting on the shelf, and I think they only was like wanting like $5 for it, as opposed to me finding it in Best Buy one night and it was sitting on the shelf for like $35, $40 or something like that. And guys, that is the steelbook of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. This is the same exact steelbook that I saw. I'm sorry for that glare, guys. That's the same exact steelbook that I saw sitting in Best Buy. That was like, it was like $35, $40 or something like that, and I wanted it really bad. I'll never forget. I think at that time, I think I was like working in a grocery store or something like that at the time, and I wasn't making a whole lot of money. Going to school, working as many hours as I could, and trying to hold down like an apartment, and all kinds of crap. It was just, I just couldn't shell out $35, $40 just for one movie. Kind of had the money in my pocket to buy as much as I could for as little as I could. So. But definitely, I saw this one sitting on the shelf, and I wanted it. I've always been a huge fan of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It's one of my favorite movies ever, and I really wanted this. And I already at home, I'd already had, I had a few different DVD releases of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but I had never owned a steelbook yet. And this would have been, if I'd have bought it that night, it would have been my first ever steelbook. So I believe whenever I finally picked this up at Walmart, so when I saw it sitting there on the shelf at Walmart for $5, it was a no-brainer. I was like a kid at Christmas. Snatched that shit up. I'll never forget the copy I bought that I picked up at Walmart right after I had seen this at Best Buy. I bought it and I went out to the car. I was very excited that I got this. Drove straight home, opened up the fucking thing, and it was missing the first disc out of it, and I was like, what the fuck? Saw the little grooves in there where there were supposed to be 2 discs in there. The second disc was in there for the special features and all that good stuff, but the first disc with the feature film was missing. So I had to fucking grab my receipt, grab the bag, haul ass back to Walmart and be like, hey, like, y'all, this is fucked up, like, I'm gonna have to go get another one off the shelf. Went and got another one off the shelf, and no shit, took it to the customer service counter. I was like, look, before I walk out the door and drive all the way back home, I'm going to go ahead and open this one up and make sure everything's in it. Sure enough, I opened it up. The fucking first disc was missing in it. I was like, oh, shit. I think there was only like 2 more probably left on the shelf. So I told the girl, she was very helpful and everything. I'll never forget that. She was like, yeah, she was like, just go back to the shelf and grab every one of them that you see on the shelf. I mean, if they're missing shit in it, it doesn't need to be back there on the shelf. So I went back there and grabbed like the other two they had on there. And the next one I came back, opened up. Thankfully, third time was a charm. I opened it up and both discs were in it. So I even checked the disc out and all that shit, because I was like, I'm not driving all the way back home. Like, watch me get home now and watch the disc be fucking scratched or something wrong with it. Just very anal, very excited. So yeah, I finally got that one though, but I got that one at Walmart for like $5, I think. That was put out by Dark Sky Films. Guys, I do love the hell out of this release. I've held on to this thing, and I will always hold on to this. That was such a great moment to, at that time when I first saw it. It was just something I couldn't buy. I couldn't afford it. I had the money in my pocket, but simply it was just like, damn, like either I can walk around here and maybe pick up a few films for that much, or I could just spend all my money and just get that one film. And thankfully, I kind of disciplined myself just a little bit, because I don't think it was too much longer after that. Seeing that sitting on a Walmart shelf for $5, that was very special to me. Not only is it just, you know, one of those fucking great films that I've loved forever, it was just that feeling that you get whenever you're like, I just saw this for like $35-40, you know, couldn't afford it, and then, you know, here later on, here I am, I'm walking around, I find it for just a few dollars. So that was a great moment. Guys, I've bought this movie so many fucking times. Between the Blu-ray releases, between the DVD releases, the VHSs, I hate to admit how many fucking times I bought it. I couldn't even tell you, because I have so many releases of this. I love this one because of the fact this was my first time getting a steelbook, DVD steelbook, and I got it for, you know, like the price I told you. But I think my favorite release of this movie, hands down, and it's had so many releases. I do have another release up there. It's the big Black Maria truck, and that's a 4-disc. I'm sorry, that's a 5-disc set, because there's an exclusive disc in there, and I love that one a lot. Usually I don't go to that one though to open it up and take it out and watch it. That's more like a collector's piece. Comes with like Leatherface's bloody apron in there, which I never took out of the bag. Comes with a little poster folded inside the Blu-ray case, and you know, that's just always going to be a big collector's piece for me. But my favorite go-to release for the first Texas Chainsaw Massacre is no doubt, which is this one, which is also put out by Dark Sky Films. I saw this at Best Buy one night, sitting on a shelf. It was a little pricey. It didn't make a fuck to me though. I had to have this release, and as you can see, it kind of slides out right there. It's really cool stuff. Guys, if you don't own this release and you do love the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, do yourself a favor and go buy this one. I highly recommend it. This is a 4-disc set, 2-disc Blu-ray, 2-disc DVD, and this is the 4K scan of the film, and it's the best I've ever seen it look. Even after that being said, with it all being cleaned up and everything, it doesn't take away anything from it. You still get some grain with it to have that natural feel, but they did clean up a lot of the bad film images that were scratched and had some deterioration on it. So Dark Sky Films did a really good job with this release. Guys, this set I was telling you about, the Black Maria set. Here's a little card right here for it. That's what I have up there on the shelf. Unfortunately, I missed out on that whenever that came up for pre-order, and it was selling. I believe Dark Sky Films put that one out. They were selling it on GorgonVideo.com apparently. But anyway, I missed out on it, didn't know anything of it. When I found out about it, I was fortunate enough to get on eBay, and I think I picked that thing up for like $40. Just found somebody on eBay. Apparently they didn't know what they had, or they were just okay with letting it go for that price. Who knows? But I was very glad to get that Black Maria set though. And but you know, like I said, guys, I don't open that one up to pull the film out to really watch it. I will. You know, when I first got it, I went through. I think I watched like the first 2 discs in there, which is the Blu-ray disc, the feature film, disc 2 for bonus features, and there's a 5th disc in that set. You know, because disc 3 and 4 are the DVDs, which is all the same material for the Blu-rays. But I went and I popped it open for there's interview with Toby Hooper on there that's never been released before. That's what makes that set so special. So, but guys, if you don't have a copy of this right here, and you love the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, I would say this is your best way to go, especially if you're here in the States. I do know in like Germany and other countries, they've had some great fucking awesome big box releases of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And unfortunately, I never got my hands on those. I know another YouTuber on here that I love his channel, and I subscribe to it. Horror and Taj. He has these big box sets of, and they're like the boxes. They're not just like, you know, Blu-ray or DVD box sets. It's like a big fucking box, and he has one for each Texas Chainsaw Massacre 1 and Texas TCM 2. And those things look fucking incredible. I would love like hell to have both of those, but I've seen the price tags for them, and there's just no way I could do that. If I did that, I'd be fucking homeless. Alright guys, moving along. Alright, next up, that was the only DVD steelbook I had. I just showed that Texas Chainsaw Massacre Blu-ray set that I had right there. Just to show you guys that I do actually have a better version than that DVD steelbook, and my go-to pretty much for that. So the rest of them are going to be Blu-ray and 4K UHD releases. Here's a director a lot of people hate. I do love his films. Actually, I love his films a lot. But guys, that is Rob Zombie's The Lords of Salem. My good buddy Ross actually sent this to me probably about a year or so ago. I had the DVD release of this, and I also just had the Amaray Blu-ray, the regular release. He had this sitting on a shelf, and I was like, man, I need to get around to picking up that steelbook at some point. And he was just very kind enough to send it to me. Appreciate the hell of that, Ross, if you're watching. And I'll be honest with you, first time I watched this film, it was not for me. I was like, wait a minute, what the fuck was that? It took me a few watches to finally appreciate this film, but I will tell you, out of all the Rob Zombie films, Halloween 2 and this one is probably like a little bit at the bottom of my list for Rob Zombie films. But like I say, guys, I know there's a lot of people who fucking hate everything about Rob Zombie, whether it just be his music or they like his music and just hate his movies. I know a lot of people has a lot of problems, especially with him being, especially when he done John Carpenter's Halloween as a remake. I know a lot of people fucking hated that. And a lot of people didn't even give a fuck about House of a Thousand Corpses and Devil's Rejects. But I'm telling you, when I first saw the House of a Thousand Corpses, I was living in this little town, and I had to drive like 2 hours away to finally get to a theater that was actually showing that film. And that fucking night was magical to me. I loved every bit of that movie and fell in love. Guys, that was Lords of Salem. Next up, another zombie film that definitely gets, I'd say, the majority of the hate. Even with 3 from Hell being out, and a lot of people didn't like anything about that film, I did. I was glad to see that fucking film be made and come out. And I think this is one that gets the most hate, though. This one and the second one to this, and that is, here's a steelbook of Rob Zombie's Halloween. Guys, if you like if you do like this and you're kind of interested, there's just so many releases of this film that's been put out. You know, Screen Factory had this in their 15 disc set, their 10 disc set. You know, there's been countless Blu-ray, DVD, different releases of this. I just happened to pick this up at Best Buy. I had a really good price on it. This is a 2 disc set, and disc 2 has Michael Lives: The Making of Halloween, which is a 4.5 hour documentary by Rob Zombie. So, you know, I have multiple releases of this movie too, fucking DVDs, Blu-rays, and I just happened to be walking through Best Buy, saw this sitting on the shelf, and I was like, you know what, I definitely want to grab that. So, guys, with all my steel books and everything, all the stuff that I buy, you know, if it has a J card, a little glue paper for the back with all the specs on it, I always keep all my stuff. Just a collector in me, just trying to keep everything. Oh, next up, I'm watching one of his movies right now. Move this around right quick. I could be able to show it to you. Guys, that is, I'm watching Inglourious Basterds right now by none other than Quentin Tarantino. And even though both films is not Quentin Tarantino's, this is a fucking amazing steelbook. I'm so glad. I was walking around through Best Buy, just saw it sitting on the shelf. I think I paid like $15 for it. And I was super glad to get it. Already had the DVD. Had both the DVDs whenever I bought them when they first came out with the slips on them. But that is the Grindhouse steelbook. And that's Planet Terror and Death Proof. Planet Terror being Robert Rodriguez and Quentin Tarantino's Death Proof. Love both of these movies. This is a great steelbook. I'm not sure if this is one of those limited things or not. I know I haven't seen it sitting on a shelf for a while, so not really sure. But guys, I remember when those movies first came out. I never remember these. I have no memory of these ever being in my town's theater or anything. So I don't even know if these things were ever released in theater. But I do remember going to, I believe it was a Circuit City that was in a town that I lived in. It was a town over. And when they first came out, the DVDs, I don't even think Blu-ray was even out. But no, it was DVDs, I believe. And I got DVDs. Now, both these films didn't come the way I bought them. It didn't come in the same package. I had to buy each one of these individual, and both of them had slipcovers on it. So, and I still have those on my shelf, and I love the hell out of those releases. That was how I was introduced to these films. Of course, when you usually see them now, where both these films have been put in a box, it's always going to be you get Planet Terror first and then Death Proof. When I took them home that night to watch them, when I finally bought them, I did it ass backwards. I watched Death Proof first and then watched Planet Terror. I don't think it really fucking matters what order you watch them in, but I do remember when I introduced myself to them, being a big Quentin Tarantino fan. Of course, I had to watch Death Proof first, so, but I love the hell out of that steelbook. That is an amazing release, guys. I need to look to see if any other copies have been released. I don't know if these ever got a 4K UHD release or not, so definitely have to look into that, though. Next up, guys, this was I remember just watching this movie like on Netflix or something like that, and I fell in love with it just immediately. I love the hell out of this film. This is a great looking steelbook. I think that little banner it cuts off a little bit right there at the top for the limited edition part, but I'll show it to you though. Hopefully it doesn't take too much away from it, but that is Tucker and Dale versus Evil. I'm sure everybody's probably seen this movie. If you haven't, stop watching this video and go watch this movie. This is a great fucking film. You can have some fun with this film. Something that you don't walk into it taking everything way too fucking serious. It's just two buddies who come across a lot of misfortunes whenever they finally get to this cabin that they have bought and try to fix up, and shit just goes wrong. Like one of the characters says, basically this this movie is just a bunch of teenagers just running around fucking killing themselves. But one of them fucking teenagers is just straight up fucking psychopathic. But yeah, guys, that's Tucker and Dale vs. Evil. Love the hell out of this steelbook. I think I was in Walmart walking around and found like a really good price on this. Actually, no. Yeah, I was in Walmart. I think this was like $18, but it was totally worth it though. Even though after I paid $18 for it, I remember going back into Walmart or somewhere, and I saw it sitting on a shelf for a lot less, and I was like, fuck. But that happened. So next up, here's a classic. I don't know anybody who's never seen this movie, so yeah, I've never met anybody who's never seen this movie, and this is probably one of the greatest films of all time, and that is Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho. Guys, it's pretty really a standard kind of Blu-ray if you ask me. Yeah, I mean, I do. The artwork's fine on that, but I'd rather, like, if you guys remember the artwork, the theatrical trailer, not the theatrical trailer, but the theatrical artwork for Psycho 2, where we see Norman Bates standing up and he's looking up at the house. I like that, so I would have liked to have seen. It has the house right here, and it has the shower drain, of course, but it's all in like the same image. I wish something would have been done a little bit more clever for the artwork. Not trying to be a douchebag or bitch about it, but I'm just saying, the notoriety this film has, trust me, I guarantee you there's a million artists out there who have been influenced by this and could have done a way better job on the artwork than that. But it still looks great though, full of fucking special features. I was very glad to get this, got it for a really good price, and I even got a good price on it, and I picked one up for my buddy as well. Sent one to Ross not too long ago. So hopefully, Ross, if you're watching, you're enjoying that one. Here's another one too I bought for myself, and then turned around, went out and bought another one for my buddy Ross. Me and him was kind of on this kick where we were going back and forth, just seeing. He lives in Chicago, I live here in Georgia, so we were just going back and forth, just seeing what was close to us and what Best Buys or whatever had to offer for steelbooks, and me and him was just going crazy. But we were sending each other some really good stuff there. We were really looking for stuff. But guys, that is train. I don't know if I'm saying this right. I think that might be trained. Is it Busan or Busan? I don't know. But guys, that is a great looking steelbook. Unfortunately, I've had this movie now on my shelf for probably like a year or two, probably 2 years now at this point, and I still have not watched it. But I'll get around to it. Heard a lot of really good things about this movie. I know there's some mixed reviews on it. Some people love the hell of it. Some people don't really care for it. But I'll leave that up to myself when I finally do watch it. But I do like the artwork on that one though. So, like I said, I was walking around Best Buy, saw this sitting on the shelf, had a really good price on it, and I was like, that's fair. And picked it up, come home, took a picture of it, and I showed my buddy. I was like, hey, check out what I just got at Best Buy. And he was like, do they have another copy of that by any chance? And I was like, they didn't, but I'm going to take a road trip tomorrow and go to a different Best Buy and take a look there and see if I can find it for you. Sure enough, I went to a different Best Buy the next day, and it was sitting there on the shelf, so picked that up for him. Guys, this was, I believe this is not considered a steelbook. I think they call these metal packs, just by the way it opens, because it has the hinges on the side that's exposed and you can see them. But I believe, yeah, I got this one at Walmart, and that is Zombieland. Guys, when I'm talking about, like, the difference in between whether it's a steelbook or a metal pack, I don't know if you could pick that up. There are, like, these little hinges you see right there at the top, right there, and on the bottom, right there. So I believe that identifies it as a metal pack. I do remember when Ash versus the Evil Dead, they didn't have a steelbook of that. It was, everybody thinks that was a steelbook, but it's actually a metal pack is what that's called. And basically it's kind of a little bit more hollow and it's a little bit more raised up. And sometimes you can see those hinges exposed like that. So from my understanding, we label those as, to know what what they really are, we call those metal packs. But even though this does feel more like a steelbook, just the hinge on the side is kind of a giveaway. But that's a great release. I got a really good price on it at Walmart, and I love the hell out of Zombieland. I need to watch, was that Double Tap? Still haven't watched that yet. Guys, bear with me. What are we, almost 27 minutes in? Having some fun here. Guys, I hope you're liking the video. I know usually I've been showing nothing but boutique releases on my channel. I figure I'd change it up just a little bit today. Did I come across any of those that I have boutique releases for? No. Have boutique releases, of course, Texas Chainsaw 2 and Next Generation, but and of course Psycho, I have 2, 3, and 4 and the remake, but nothing to Psycho 1. I'm pretty sure the production companies will, the current rights holder of TCM 1 and Psycho, they'll probably never let those films go. Just like the Evil Dead. Like 1 and 2. I doubt like Anchor Bay and them will never let those rights go. If they do, it'd be a fucking surprise though. I was telling my buddy Shenanigans 1, it'd be fucking awesome to see somebody like Arrow Video take those first 3 films in the Evil Dead and fucking do like a big box set of them. Like every cut of the fucking films, like known to man, and plus like getting a ton of transport, what do they call that? Importing over all the supplemental material that we've ever seen before, and plus doing new supplemental material. Oh, you're talking about a fucking collector's wet dream. I don't think I'd be able to fucking contain myself. That would be so great to have something like that, and we need it too. I totally agree with Shenanigans 1. He said, Anchor Bay just needs to let them fucking movies go already. Give somebody another chance at it. They've been putting those movies out now. I'm guaranteed we've all bought so many different versions of the fucking Evil Dead movies, it's not even funny. Between VHSs, DVDs, Blu-rays, 4K UHDs, there's just been fucking thousands of different releases, and that's not even thinking about what Germany and these other countries have released. Like just here in North America, there's just so many fucking releases, and we're all victims of buying all the shit. Every time they release something different, something new, we're all just soaking it up because we're hoping that we're going to get a release that's going to have everything in it, but we're not getting it. All right, guys, moving along here. Oh man, this is a childhood favorite right here. Bizarre ass movie, and I still think it's crazy as hell to this day. I'll never quite understand how this movie got a PG rating, but I guess just some shit kind of slid under the radar with the ratings committees. But I'm sure you guys could probably agree with this. That is the steelbook for Beetlejuice. My best friend picked this up for me at Best Buy. He got himself a copy of it, and I told him, I was like, man, like I have a DVD release of that film and a Blu-ray release, the standard Blu-ray release. But I don't have a steelbook of that, and I really like the artwork on that steelbook, so I would definitely like to have that. Sure enough, he picked it up for me, and guys, unfortunately, there's not a lot of special features on this disc, but You get 3 episodes of the animated Beetlejuice TV series and theatrical trailer. So I mean, at least you get something, I guess. But fuck, it'd be nice to see Michael Keaton do an interview, commentary, behind the scenes making of, whatever. All right, guys. Next up, I'm trying to see if I had any more of these films in 4K or another steelbook. This was exclusive to Best Buy, and this was the newest one. I found it for a really good price at Best Buy, so I had to grab it. I do know that they have released every film in a big in a single steelbook collection. I just haven't got around to getting that. I definitely should look into getting it because I do like those movies. But guys, that is Jigsaw. Believe it or not, I think my kids like the Saw movies more than I do. There is some of them though. It's kind of like I have to fast forward a little bit, especially if there's any kind of a sexual nature to them. I won't let my kids watch them. But my kids are getting older, and my kids watched. I believe we watched every single one of them last Halloween. So yeah, they definitely love the hell out of these movies, and that was the last one that we watched. I think we went in order with them. So, but that is the Jigsaw Steelbook. That is the Blu-ray Steelbook. Yeah, that's not the 4. Yeah, Blu-ray and DVD and digital, and that says only at Best Buy. So it was exclusive to Best Buy. So they it's a pretty good movie. Pretty good. Alright guys, next up is none other than a movie that I was just talking about. Had to buy this, found this at Walmart. Had a really good price on it. And why not? I've already owned probably just part 1, just the first film. Between VHSs, DVDs, Blu-rays, 4Ks. Yeah, I probably own about 24, 26 releases of this fucking movie now. Is what it is, but every time they release one, I end up picking it up any fucking way. But guys, that is the Evil Dead. That's the first Evil Dead film. Love the hell out of this. I was not introduced to this until a little bit later in life. I think I was about 13 when my best friend, my neighbor, introduced me to this film, and I had such a great mentor who introduced me to this film. Not only did he have this one, but he also had Evil Dead 2 and Army of Darkness, because he already knew there was 3 movies of this shit. Had them on VHS. We'd rent it from the video store, and that was an amazing fucking day of my life. It was. I'll never forget that. I still talk to him about it to this day, about him introducing me to that series. Him and his dad both. They were big fans of it, still are, and man, they fucking turned me on to pure gold that day. So yeah. A lot of people always ask me, like, being a big Evil Dead fan, which ones you like the best? Evil Dead 1, Evil Dead 2, or Army of Darkness? And I'm like, don't do that to me. Just don't. I have to have all of them. I have to have all 3 of those films. That remake, I do. I love the hell out of the remake. I love it a lot. That shit is creepy as fuck, and I love it. Is it as good as anywhere? Is it anywhere near as good as Evil Dead 1, 2, or Army of Darkness? Fuck no. But I definitely like it though. But this one right here, this shit changed everything for me. That day watching this in his living room, and then when we got to Evil Dead 2, that fucking possessed hand scene, the fucking deer head on the wall laughing and all that shit, my mind was blue. Yeah, I mean it was fucking over that day. Like I found the holy grail of fucking horror, and this was to me, and it still is. But guys, that's the Evil Dead. Not a whole lot of special features on this steelbook. You get an audio commentary with Sam Raimi, producer Robert Tappert, and star Bruce Campbell. So I have a ton of releases for this. I do like the Anchor Bay collection that I have. It's the Ultimate Edition of Evil Dead. If I'm not mistaken, there's like 4 or 5 discs in there. Unfortunately, that's not Blu-ray. It's all DVD. But there's a ton of features in that thing, and that, if I'm looking for supplemental material, that is my go-to. So, but guys, I got more copies of this movie to show you along the way, so just bear with me. Next up, I was showing my my Arrow Video Limited Edition set yesterday, and I said this is my favorite werewolf movie that's ever been made, and it is. I love the hell out of Silver Bullet, Dog Soldiers, The Howling, you name them. If it's a werewolf movie, I've most likely fucking seen it. Especially being like, I guess a werewolf horror movie lover. But this is my favorite werewolf movie of all time. And got the steelbook for a really good price too at Best Buy one night. So went ahead and grabbed it. And that's American Werewolf in London. I love the artwork of that right there. I know that's basically the theatrical poster artwork, but I still get a kick out of that artwork. I love everything about it. And guys, this fucking steelbook is loaded with features. I'll try to turn around. I don't know if that camera's going to do you any justice, but I will try for you. But got a lot of features on that. Don't get me wrong, this thing looks incredible. It looks so fucking good compared to the DVD releases and the previous Blu-ray releases I had of this. For this one, they actually restored for improved HD picture. It looks beautiful, but I'm telling you, that Arrow video release is by far the holy grail piece for American Werewolf in London fans. I was fortunate enough to get the limited edition set. As soon as they announced that thing, I fucking pre-ordered it, had to have it. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. For various reasons. Tom Landis, man, John Landis, working with Rick Baker. This is Rick Baker's fucking masterpiece, if you ask me. But that's American Werewolf in London. I could go on for 2 hours talking about how great that fucking movie is, and I'd still need a few more hours to keep talking about it, just to cover shit. Love it, love it. Next up, unfortunately, I missed out on the 4K UHD steelbook that Best Buy exclusively put out. And it's a shame because I really wanted to look into getting that. Just never got around to it, unfortunately. But I did pick this one up a while back. It's been sitting on the shelf for a while. Finally walked past it and it had a good price on it. I have so many different copies of this fucking movie as well. It's not even funny, but that is The Shining. From what I do gather though, the 4K UHD steelbook, just the 4K UHD release in general actually has better color corrections for this film. One of the scenes that I saw as an example, when Danny's sitting in the hallway and the ball rolls across the floor, it's actually, if you compare like this transfer to that 4K UHD transfer, the color of the ball is slightly different and it's very noticeable. But as they did the color corrections on that 4K UHD disc, it was found out that a lot of these transfers were not really 100% accurate when it came to color corrections. So I definitely want to check out that 4K UHD disc. I would like to have that exclusive steelbook from Best Buy. Unfortunately, I just hesitated so long, so it is what it is. But I'll definitely get around to getting it though. Like I said, I'll own so many fucking copies of this, but to hear that there is one that's like a true release, you know, with you know, being 100% with color correction and everything like that, that excites me a lot. Okay guys, here was a Best Buy exclusive right here, 4K Ultra HD release. I hadn't even seen this movie when I bought it. I just went in there, this was sitting on the shelf, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and grab this. Haven't watched it yet, heard a lot of people talk about it. No, it's a good fucking film in my opinion, but that's Us. And like I said guys, these releases right here, them 4K UHD discs, when there's these steelbooks, when they're exclusive to Best Buy, we're looking at $35 a pop. So these things can get a little pricey, especially when you're buying a couple at a time. I mean, you walk in and you buy 3 of them, you done spend over $100. But it is what it is. It's a good release. If I'm not mistaken, guys, yeah, that's 4K Ultra HD and Blu-ray. Guys, I do own maybe a dozen or so 4K UHD titles. And believe it or not, I do not even have a 4K UHD player. Been meaning to grab one. I just figured I'd go ahead and rack up and collect a good bit, have a good collection for when I finally do splurge and get one. I could really sit down and enjoy it. I remember when I first got my first DVD player ever. When they first released those things, they were so fucking expensive. Not to mention the movies were like 20, 25, 30 bucks a pop, depending on where you were going to buy your movies at. This is when DVD players first hit the market. So I finally got my DVD player and I only had like a little bit of money to get like 2 or 3 movies. And yeah, it was god awful. I really had to save up some money there for a little bit just to go out shopping to grab a stack of DVDs to really go home and enjoy my player with. Like I said, I only had 2 or 3 DVDs. I remember I bought 2 DVDs the first day that I bought my DVD player at Best Buy. I remember exactly what those 2 DVDs were, and I just so happened to have a buddy who I traded him something for one of his DVDs. So I had 3 to initially take home with me with my DVD player. So that was pretty fun. Alright guys, next up, a Stephen King classic right here, that's Salem's Lot. It's one of those that I found sitting on the shelf, had a really good price on it, so I went ahead and grabbed it. Not much special features on this one. I do have the regular Blu-ray release, the old snapper case DVD release of this, and what else do I got of this? I think that's it. Yeah. Be nice to see a boutique label grab this one and really give it some love. This is a long ass film. Another film that I'm like, it's PG-13, but guys, we're looking at 183 minutes, so yeah. Talking about just a little over 3 hours right there. It's like watching a fucking Lord of the Rings movie, but it's good. I like the hell out of it. Next up, my buddy sent me this one, Ross. This is an FYE exclusive. I was very excited that he sent this to me. He grabbed his copy of it and then went back and grabbed me one because I just fell in love whenever he sent me the picture of his. And man, I love this movie. Grew up with this fucking movie. Who didn't grow up with this movie? But that is Tremors. Love the hell out of this one, guys. And I believe they also released a steelbook where they had like all the films in there. If I'm not mistaken, I know they did that with Sharknado, where they released a steelbook that had all the films in it. I believe Tremors might have done that as well, but Tremors won to me. It's everything. That's all I really need, to be honest with you. But yeah, it's an FYE exclusive right there. So I was very happy. And if Ross, if you're watching this, man, thank you so much for sending that to me. It's really cool, man. With me and you were going back and forth, man, just doing everything we could to grab some fucking steel books. And, we definitely got a little bit of an addiction right there with them steel books there for a little bit. Although here recently, me and him both has kind of held off on them just because we're just collecting so much other stuff. You know, we're boutique labels enough. They cost enough money as it is, so it's hard to keep collecting every single thing. So unfortunately, some things just have to be put on the back burner for a while to grab the stuff up front that you know is probably going to be really limited and it's going to be very expensive once it's gone. So next up, I got this one from FYE. I think this is my newest steelbook I bought. I just bought this a few months ago. One of those trips where I went to FYE, couldn't find jack shit to buy. And I was like, I can't leave here without nothing. Just so happened to walk by one of the end caps and they had this on steelbook. And I didn't even have a Blu-ray release yet of this. I only had a DVD. I was like, well, here's the time. And that is Little Shop of Horrors. I dig this. It's fun. It was fun to definitely watch this with the kids too. Got a director's cut in here and a theatrical cut. You guys, there's about a 9-minute difference in those cuts. Got some special features on it, so I was pretty happy to grab that. Got a good price on it too at FYE. I think this was like 10-15 bucks or something, so I was all right with that. Moving on here, one of my favorite movies of all time. I got this at Best Buy. I know this fucking thing has so many different releases. If I'm not mistaken, they do have a 4K UHD steelbook of this. I think that might have been exclusive to Best Buy. Not really sure. Yeah, I went ahead and grabbed this one before the 4K UHD. Before these films ever went on to 4K UHD. But that is a Terminator 2 steelbook. Sorry guys, that thing's going to have a lot of glare on it. But yeah, I'm sure this is one of everybody's favorite films of all time. Definitely is mine. Shit, man, James Cameron, he hit gold with this one. I know a lot of people love the hell out of the first one. Unfortunately for me, the first one, I can always skip that one and go straight to Terminator 2. I do like the first one, don't get me wrong, but if I had to take my pick, fuck, man, Terminator 2 all day long. Especially compared to this one, that first one doesn't even stand a chance. This fucking great movie. Love the hell out of it. It's been a little bit since I watched that movie too, so I wouldn't mind revisiting that here pretty soon. But I guarantee I've seen it over fucking 2,000 times. Here's one that I bought. I just can't remember where I got this one from. I think I might have got this at FYE one night. I think it was one of those things where they were like half price in their steelbooks, or it was like buy one get one free, some bullshit. I can't remember. And unfortunately, I still haven't watched this movie yet. But that is the new I say new. It's been out forever now. Tom Cruise and the Mummy. Yeah, I have not seen this movie yet though. Heard a lot of mixed things. Either fucking people hate this film, or the people that do like it are just like, yeah, it's alright. I've never heard anybody be like, this fucking movie's monumental. It's so great. But it is what it is, though. Like I said, I got this for a really good price. I don't know why they put the, like usually like this little flap right here would be on the top, and it would kind of like lap over right there. But apparently they made it for whatever reason to come on the bottom, and it's not like the thing's fucked up and it's upside down on the back or anything. So that was a little weird for me. Every time I pick this up, I'm like, I don't know why they did that like that. It catches me every time. It's just an OCD thing, I guess. But yeah, that's Tom Cruise and The Mummy. We'll keep going on here, guys. Got these at FYE. Yeah, I must have got that Mummy and yeah, The Mummy. When I bought these two, I got these for like $5 a piece, and I have a ton of different releases of this film. I have a collection up there in this big black bobble keep case. What else do I have these on? I remember having these on DVD back in the day in individual releases. FYE had these for $5 a piece. I don't really care for part 3, but I was looking for part 3 so I could kind of complete the steelbook collection of the trilogy. FYE for some reason just put out part 1 and part 2, had the steelbook sitting there for $5 and didn't even have part 3, so I was like, well, fuck. So I grabbed what I could, but guys, that is The Godfather 1 and The Godfather part 2. Love the hell out of both of these movies. I love the hell out of some gangster flicks. I mean, I'm a sucker for them, but at $5 a piece, guys, I wasn't gonna walk off from them. So $10, and I got 2 really good fucking movies. I do know that Francis Ford Coppola, they did do this remastered Blu-ray set that's in this big box set. Unfortunately, I have not got around to getting that. I bought the first the black case when they first put them out on DVD. I think I bought that at Target way back in the day before Blu-ray even came out. And I remember going to Target one day and seeing that sitting on the shelf, and I came home with that bitch. And then I since then upgraded them to Blu-ray and all that good stuff. And like I said, I know that there was like this remastered set that was the Francis Ford Coppola collection, and I just never got around to getting those. All right, next up, guys, I'll go through these pretty quick. I don't know why I have these 2 and not the other ones. I got these at Best Buy. Found them sitting on a shelf for like, I think they were like $8 a piece, and I got them. I do like these 2 movies. I still haven't watched the 3rd one, and they probably do have a 4th one that I don't even know about, but oh well. Guys, that is The Maze Runner. I dug the hell out of this movie when it was first released. That was definitely something new to me. I don't know nothing about the books or anything like that. I just happened to rent the movie one night on Vudu, sitting in my living room, watched it, and I was like, holy shit. And so when they released the 2nd one, which is Scorched Straws here, I dug that too. It kind of moved away just a little bit. I do like that first one a lot better than this one, but this one's alright though. And like I said, I still haven't watched the 3rd one. If I'm not mistaken, I believe they were filming the 3rd one, and that main actor right there, he got fucked up and hurt or something like that in some kind of a stunt. Can't remember. But like I said, I saw these sitting on the shelf at Best Buy for like $8. I think it was like $7, $8 a piece, and I was like, you know what? I don't own any of them. Might as well go ahead and pull the trigger on these. So that's what I did. Next up, guys. Oh shit, I definitely need to get the 4K UHD release of this. I don't know why I don't have it. I have so many releases of this fucking movie. It's another one of those where it's between VHS. I have the VHS I'm looking at right there. It's a double VHS set. And DVDs and Blu-ray releases is fucking crazy for this movie. I need to get the 4K UHD release of this, and that's Scarface. I think they call these steelbooks like pop art. Some shit. I can't really remember, guys. That is the Scarface steelbook. Got some good special features on it, that's for sure. But I definitely want that 4K UHD disc. Next up, guys, we're going to keep it cruising. I got this one at Best Buy a couple years back. That's the Mad Max steelbook. I bought this before I had the Scream Factory Collector's Edition. Bought this, then started collecting Scream Factory, and I was like, what the hell, man? So, but it is what it is. So, got it in the collection. There's a lot of diehard fans for that movie. But steelbook looks pretty good too. I like that red on it. Looks really good. But that was Mad Max. Okay, so let me go ahead and get this one out of the way right quick. This was, I don't even know why the fuck I bought this one. I remember watching the movie when it first came out. I really didn't really care for it that much. Either somebody must have gave this to me or something. I don't know. I don't know why the hell I have it in here. But that's Scott Pilgrim versus the World. So we're moving on. Next up, I got this one from Horror Pack in one of their boxes. It was a while back, probably more than a year ago now. But that is Resident Evil Afterlife. And it looks like it says only, what does that say? Only at Walmart. So apparently Walmart got in the game of putting out their own steelbooks as well. Everybody looking to make a buck. Here's one that's not a steelbook. It is a metal pack. That's for sure. It's kind of raised and it has the hinges on the side right there. Horror Pack also sent this to me in one of their boxes. That is World War Z. I haven't even opened it yet. I have the Blu-ray release when it first came out with the slipcover on it. I remember buying that one year for Black Friday at Best Buy one night. So, yeah, and hey, that's the metal pack though. Like I said, guys, one of those dead giveaways, especially for metal packs, is they'll have the hinges on the side. For this one's going to be a little difficult to see because it's all black. Hopefully that's picking up for you. That's definitely what they call a metal pack. Let's move on. Just recently bought this one. I still have not watched it yet. I opened it up. That was it. Got it for a really good price at Walmart. And that's when I first started doing YouTube. This was one of my first videos. And actually, I'm glad I said that because I have this one sitting there and I didn't even take it out to put it in the pile with my other 4Ks. So at least I was thinking about that. Guys, that is, what is that? Color Out of Space. I think this is an H.P. Lovecraft story, if I'm not mistaken. Nicolas Cage movie. Saw it sitting on the shelf with a slipcover at Walmart, and literally, guys, I think this thing was like $10. So I went ahead and grabbed it. Heard a lot of people talking about it, so it's an H.P. Lovecraft story. I'll check it out. I'll get around to it eventually. Next up, bought this one the same day. Heard a lot of really good things about this this 4K too. Definitely have to check this out whenever I get a 4K player. But, of course, guys, that is Jaws. Like I said, I don't think that cover really does anything except for moves the bottom jaw right there. But yeah, 4K anniversary. I'm sorry, 45th anniversary limited edition 4K Ultra UHD. So that is Jaws. I like they put it in a keep case with a book with it. I wish more companies like Universal and stuff like that would practice that style of packaging, because I definitely would buy more films like that. That is a really cool packaging concept they have. They offer a book in there. Looks like 2 discs, packed full of features. And guys, I heard some really good things about that 4K UHD disc. Like it really has significant quality to the Blu-ray release. So, like I said, guys, unfortunately, I don't have a 4K UHD player yet. I will get one eventually. But as you can tell, by the time I do finally get one, I will have a good stack of stuff to really get introduced to that player. But for now, the boutique label is basically working with mostly Blu-ray. You know, we've seen a few labels. Shout Factory put out the Deer Hunter. We've seen Blue Underground now spit out a handful of 4K UHDs. Synops did Suspiria. Arrow Video's doing Flash Gordon, and I keep forgetting the name of that Vin Diesel movie that they announced. I don't know if that was Dark Fury or something. I can't remember. But now Arrow Video's got a couple 4Ks coming out too as well, so it's gonna be interesting to see how this transitions. But anyway, my good buddy Ross sent this one to me with a slipcover. We had talked about it for a while, and I still have not watched this movie yet. I will get around to it though. It has the Blu-ray in it, so usually these 4K UHD releases they do include the Blu-ray. So I definitely need to get around to watching this. This is J.J. Abrams, right? Yeah, J.J. Abrams. That's Overlord. So, dig that slipcover. I mean, it's very simplistic, but I like the blood drips on it too. I just got to get around to watching this fucking movie sooner or later. Guys, let me look at this stack and make sure there ain't no 4Ks in that. That's all Blu-ray releases. So let's keep going. Damn, I still got another stack to go through. Here was the collectible steelbook that was Best Buy when this was first released. They also did another second steelbook that had different artwork, and now they're doing a third one now, but this is the Halloween remake. This is not the Rob Zombie one. I forgot who directed this one. David Gordon Green. So that's that one. I remember when they first released this, a lot of people were not happy about the font scheme on that steelbook, but this was my first release buying this movie when it came out, so I was glad to get this one. But I do like that second steelbook they did. They had the Michael Myers mask on the front of it. It was done like in really like black and white. Looked really good. But I'll get around to getting that sooner or later. But guys, this is the 4K UHD copy of the remake of Halloween by David Gordon Green. So I did like that movie. I went to a drive-in not too far from my house when this movie first came out, the opening weekend, and I dug the hell out of it. Loved the hell out of it. So I was glad to get that. Okay, guys. Next up, before I show you these steelbooks, I do want to let you know that I do have the first season of this. This was released whenever they first came out. They released it as a metal pack. Unfortunately, I missed out on that because it sold out very fast through Best Buy, I believe. But I did go back and actually land one with a slipcover on it, and that's Ash versus the Evil Dead. I'm trying to get that right so the color scheme will work on it. Lenticular cover right there just kind of changes a little bit just like that. So that is the first season. I love the hell out of this series. Stars did not do a good job at promoting this series, though. They were charging way too much for their service, especially somebody who used to have a Dish Network and DirecTV. Whenever you'd go through there, Stars would literally want you to pay like $28, $32 for their service a month, and there just wasn't enough on there to pay that much money every month. All right, guys. Next up, this was the only at Best Buy steelbook packaging for the Evil Dead 2. And that's the Blu-ray right there. I do love that steelbook. This is a great season 2. Love the hell out of this show. They did a good job on these releases. Wish Stars wouldn't have charged so much for their subscribers, especially before they started putting where you could get on like Roku and Amazon, your Amazon sticks and all that to get their service. Their service now costs nothing. It's like $9-10 a month. They were charging seriously like $28, $32 a month just for Stars for 30 days, and they kept telling people. I remember when this is the third season. I remember whenever they were trying to promote this season right here, they were saying like, look, if we don't have any more subscribers or more viewer counts to help us out, there won't be another fourth season. And they were right, because they just wanted too much fucking money for their service. At the time, we had HBO showing Game of Thrones and all this other good shit. HBO wasn't even charging what Stars was trying to charge. And HBO had newer movies on their shit and all that. So it just wasn't going to happen. They definitely... hopefully they'll have a new idea. Who knows if Bruce Campbell is really done with the character of Ash. We will see in the future. I'm a huge fucking Evil Dead fan, and I do love this series. So yeah, it was great to see that though. All right, guys, here we go, more Evil Dead stuff. So now that I show you the Evil Dead steelbook a while ago, I did pick up the Evil Dead 4K UHD release with the slipcover with it. Saw it at Best Buy when they first released it. Just had to bring it home. It's, like I said, guys, it'll happen. I'll get that 4K UHD player, and I'll definitely will. As you can see, I'll have a stack, and this will be one of my first ones that I pop in right here. But that is the 4K UHD release. It does have the Blu-ray in it, and they released this one not too long after that one, and I had to get it, and I heard some really great things about this release, and that is Evil Dead 2, the 4K UHD release. And I think this one won some kind of the production studio who put this together got some kind of notoriety or like an award for this release, because they were saying it was such a superior way to watch the film compared to Blu-ray. So that is Evil Dead 2. Got that one with slipcover as well. So I had to get it. Guys, this one's a Mondo steelbook. It's a 4K UHD, only at Best Buy steelbook packaging, and Mondo did make the steelbook. Yeah, we'll keep that in there for now. But that is the Pet Sematary Mondo steelbook 4K UHD. I do know that some Mondos, if I'm not thinking all of them, come with this clear case, and basically it has the back there with all the stuff, and just kind of slides right in right there. So that is the Pet Sematary Mondo steelbook. That steelbook is gorgeous. Love the hell out of it. Guys, I never took the saran wrap off of it fully. I just kind of opened it enough at the top there to take it out. But let me see right quick. Yeah, guys, they did a pretty good job with that. I know Mondo is really known for their artwork, so we'll keep moving, guys. I don't want the video to turn off. Next is the, of course, what having that one, the 4K UHD release of the first Pet Sematary. And that being a Mondo, I went ahead and went to Best Buy and got their exclusive when they first released this one. This is the Pet Sematary remake. I know this film gets a lot of shit, but I love this film. I'm trying to think of his name, John Lithgow. Oh man, played such a great character. He played Judd. I thought incredibly. Love it. Love the special features on here too. He actually has some special features in there where he's telling little stories that's involved in the Pet Sematary story. So guys, that was a great steelbook. And like I said, these things are not cheap. They're like $35-40 a pop when you go to Best Buy to grab them when they first come out. So this was one I had to get my hands on. Went the week it released, and I was lucky enough to walk in the door, and they still had one of these sitting on the shelf. So I bought that bitch quick and brought it home with me. Next up, guys, comes another 4K UHD release, one of my favorite John Carpenter films, which I damn near love about every damn film that guy's ever done. I haven't seen them all, that's for sure, but I've seen the majority of them thanks to Screen Factory, who basically owns every fucking film he's ever put out. But almost anyway. And this is one that Arrow Video or Screen Factory, somebody needs to get this film. Might as well be Screen Factory since they got every fucking John Carpenter film almost. But that is Christine. Sorry for that glare, guys. The bottom of that's white. It has that print on it. But this is the 4K UHD release of Christine, one of my favorite movies of all time. It's another film, just like Evil Dead. My best friend had introduced me to a long time ago, and this just, I fell in love with this movie. Love the hell out of it. Next up, guys, I have 2 releases of this film. Went out the day, but remember, like, the opening weekend happened. I went a day earlier just for like preview night, basically, at my local theater. I was very excited for this. Love the 1990 version, so when this one was coming out, I was all over it, and this is one of my favorite films. Guys, that is it. That's just the standard 4K UHD with the slipcover, and I have the Best Buy exclusive steelbook. I do have it in a protective baggie, but I have never opened that one. Bought it just for the hell of it, being a collector. I'll never sell it, no nothing. This will always stay on the shelf, but I just had to have it because I love the artwork on it. It has Pennywise standing up in the front right there, and yeah, I had to have it. So my wife actually drove a good ways away from here to go get this for me. When they had to call, reserve it, pay for it online, and get them to hold it for me in store, so she could go pick it up for me. But like I said, I do have the 4K UHD with the slip right there, and I have the steelbook. I love that fucking movie. Love it. No, a lot of people either hate that movie or they love it, and I'm one of those people who love it. Last up, guys, it's another Best Buy exclusive steelbook, and of course, since I had It Chapter 1 on steelbook, here's It Chapter 2 on steelbook. That's the 4K UHD release. So, guys, that's going to do it for that one. I was very, very happy to get that one. I even picked that one up from my best friend while I was there at Best Buy. He wanted one as well, so I was able to get him one. Guys, thank you for sticking around throughout the whole video. I'm just looking to make sure I didn't miss anything. Yeah, guys, that's all my my steelbooks and my 4K UHD releases. As you can see, I think I have more than a dozen 4K UHD releases at this point, probably closer to 2 dozen. It's definitely time for me to get a 4K UHD player. I just never got a chance to get around to getting one. I was really, always been really happy with the boutique label sticking to Blu-ray, especially doing those 4K scans, not 4K UHD, but the 4K scans. Always been happy with those. They look incredible. So I've been happy with those forever. For a while collecting now, but I'll definitely, I'm definitely gonna go through. Probably gonna go through eBay for my 4K UHD player because I want to buy one that's, all 4K discs from my understanding. If it's 4K Ultra HD, none of that stuff is region locked. You can play them on any 4K player, but I do want a 4K player that also has the Blu-ray and the DVDs regions unlocked. Blu-ray being A, B, and C, DVD 0 through 9. I want a player that just does everything. So I'll be looking to get one of those. I'll probably get one of those for my living room first, and then just kind of go around from each, my movie room to bedroom, upgrading. So I'll definitely look around into getting one of those pretty soon. Like I said, I was kind of pulling them off the shelf, and as I'm going through this video, I'm like, only thought I had a few 4K UHD releases. I didn't kind of realize how many I really had, and it's definitely time to get one. That's for sure. I got a nice stack to start out with my collection with. Like I said, as opposed to me having my DVD player and only having like 2-3 titles, that day I bought my my DVD player. Blu-ray was a different story too. When I first got my Blu-ray player, I'd already had probably a good little stack of Blu-rays that I'd already bought before I even got my player. Just finding them here and there out in the wild and stuff that I really wanted. And so I had a little bit of a fun week with that player when I first got it. But with this right here, though, I definitely got a couple stacks to work with, so this will be really fun. Like I said, those Evil Dead movies will be the first ones I pop in for the 4K UHD when I finally get one of those players, and not to mention, especially Christine, which I've heard a lot of really good things about. I need to get around to getting the John Carpenter 4K UHD release with a slipcover. I kept seeing that on the shelf a lot. I saw one with a slipcover on it one time. It was mangled. I didn't want to get one that was destroyed, and went past it. And every time I kept seeing it on a shelf at a store, it was always missing the 4K slipcover with it. And I'm just one of those collectors who's got to have that shit. But I'll get around to getting that one. I believe the new Best Buy Steelbook, I'm not sure if that's another remake Halloween Steelbook or is that John Carpenter's original Halloween 4K UHD. I believe that's John Carpenter's original debut Halloween 4K UHD Steelbook that they're going to make exclusive to Best Buy. So that'll be nice because that remake's already done got 2 exclusives through Best Buy. It's time to get John Carpenter's exclusive in there now. So that's I can understand why people don't collect that shit because it's a gimmick. It gets suckers like me back in the door to buy that kind of stuff. But guys, I hope you liked the video. We're over an hour. If you liked the video, please hit the like button. If you haven't subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. Hit me up in the comment section. If you have any of those releases, you'll love them. There's something about them on there, so check out. Hit me up in the comment section. And guys, until the next video, stay safe. Be careful.